do a talk show. Some of you may have heard us in the past. We now do our show through our website, themonts.ca, and we have had a number of people from your industry talking to us about what will happen if the government continues this foolhardy idea that they have of canceling this program. And so know that the industry is working very hard on your behalf, behind the scenes and out front. You can come to our site and you can hear the podcast that we have. We've been talking to people. We actually spoke with Janet Ecker just yesterday, the former Minister of Finance for the province, and it was under her government that they came up with the Slots and Racetracks program, and it is doing so well for everyone. Now, my husband and I, we have debates about things all the time, and I'm the one that likes to see both sides of an issue. There is not another side to this issue. There really isn't. All this does is make money for the government, and money that is reinvested back into the industry has made for a very vibrant one. We have had over the years at our little farm up in Erin a few racehorses, and just last year we had one that won. It was so exciting, and because of that we made a little bit of money, and so she's back at the track now, and hopefully she's going to win again. But what that means is that a trainer is employed. We have a hot walker, a groom, an exercise person, a jockey, the people in the race office. So many people are employed. You don't need me to tell you, all right, you don't need me to tell you about the dollars. You all know that. But what we have to do is tell everyone else, because you know what? I'm a taxpayer too, and this province is in a big mess. We all know that. So they have to make judicious decisions. You don't cancel something that's making you a lot of money. There is a legacy in this industry as well. Everybody, even the people that don't know anything about horse racing, know about Northern Dancer, and they know what an exciting time that has been. Well, the industry has grown so much since then. We have fantastic breeding operations. I was at a place just the other week, and we've been going around talking to people. We're putting together not just radio commercials that you've probably heard, that's my voice on those. We're going to do television spots too, and we've talked to people at the tracks about what is going to happen. You guys love what you do. You're passionate people. You want to stay employed. You want to pay taxes, not live off them. So that's what we have to tell the government, that we need to continue with this. And the government needs to be able to, I think, graciously back out of the decision they made. I think they had bad advice, and it was a quick decision, thinking that we can build this as the rich horse owners out there. We don't want to put money into their pockets, but that is not the truth of this issue. They need to know the truth, don't they? They need to know the truth, that isn't the face. Although there are some people who do very well, and that's wonderful, because guess what? They hire people. They invest in the economy. And this is about rural Ontario. I have been completely baffled by this decision, thinking, why would they do this? It does not make sense. Cutting programs that make money doesn't make sense. Again and again. What is going on here? Is it because it's rural Ontario and that's maybe not the voting base? Maybe it's really a political decision, and that's what so many of you have been saying to us. Is this just about politics? I would hope not, because they are dealing with what a crying shame it would be if this is about politics, because they're dealing with the lives, the investments, the homes of so many people in the province of Ontario. So I think the Premier can change his mind on this one. I hope he will change his mind on this. I had a few suggestions when we were talking about this on the air. I had people saying, well, Carol, why don't you take a horse and chain yourself to the horse at Queen's Park? I thought, okay, I'm not going to do that one. I was having our manure pile removed at the farm. Now, that has promise, doesn't it? We thought maybe we could take that to Queen's Park. But really, we want to take the message to Queen's Park and to the Premier and to all of the MPPs. Put the pressure on and change that decision. Now, before I left the show yesterday, some of you may have heard, but my husband, Paul, was saying, you know, if you're at a rally, you have to have a chant of some sort, right? Really? Yeah! So, we were trying to figure it out. said every rally has one. You know, whenever you hear Sid Ryan somewhere, they've got a chant, right? So he figured this was a good one. I wasn't so sure, but he said, Premier Dad, give us a pass. Don't be such a horse's ass. Well, what do you think? Do you like that? Premier Dad, give us a pass. Don't be such a horse's ass. All right. Well, you get my drift. And I'm just hoping that the province is going to back off on this, because you guys do a wonderful job. You know, I had the opportunity and the pleasure of coming into the track. I always go early Saturday morning to watch my horse gallop, and it is just the greatest life. It is very exciting. I'd hate to see the legacy die. It would be awful. And then for the Premier, just think about the legacy that you would have. You would have killed an industry, and I don't think anybody wants that. So I will do whatever I can from my end of things. We would certainly love you to come to our website, themots.ca, and drop your comments in there as well. And we will continue trying to fight a battle for you. You do a great job.
Minister Duncan rightly says our industry earns 10 times more than the horse communities of Alberta and Manitoba. And that's true. But what he hasn't shared with us, that in Alberta, the government is solidly behind their horse people. And then in Alberta, the horse people receive 67% of the slot revenues created in Alberta. And in little old Manitoba, guess what? Their government is so committed to supporting the racing and breeding industry in the communities of Manitoba that they allow 100% of the slot revenues to be returned to the horse racing and the horse breeding sector in the province of Manitoba. That's value for money. So in Ontario, our horsemen get 10%. And our host site partners receive 10%, and the rest goes to support our government. What a deal. Mr. Duncan, sir, that is value for money.
Hi everybody, how you doing? Yeah. I'm a first generation horse person. I got involved in the horse business back in Fort Perry, my hometown. It's the only thing I've ever done. I've been quite successful at it. I'm very lucky, and I appreciate that. Over the last 10 years, I broke down a little bit of thing. In the last 10 years, my little stable has paid out $1,700,000 in wages to grooms. My wife and I taking none. Blacksmiths, I've given $227,000 to. Feed, I've paid $547,000 in hay bills. Shavings alone, $182,000. Screenings for my track, I have my own track, $94,000. Tax shop expenses, $342,000. Insurance on my buildings and my vehicles, $99,000. Stake payments, $91,000. I've spent $31,000 on other people's shipping. My trucks and vehicles, which I have a few on the road, have cost me $177,000. My vet expense for the last 10 years has been $749,000. Well, these are only a few of my total expenses. We have done well. Now, what we have to do is we have to get out. We do a good job telling ourselves how good we've done and how many people are employed. I have 11 full-time employees, 4 part-time employees. To date this year, I've already spent $100,000 on their wages. These are things that we know inside our own industry, but people outside our industry 10 miles down the road don't even know we exist. We have to let the government and all the people all over Ontario know that we are here, and we are many. So this is what we have to do to get this all forward and go forward for the next generation of horse people. Thank you very much.
My name is Robert King. I'm the Executive Director of the Jockeys Benefit Association of Canada, and I just want to take a minute and describe what's going on in Fort Erie particularly. There's the talk that the track will close, and it is imminent that Fort Erie, the demise of Fort Erie will be, should this go through with the slots program. Fort Erie, those people down there have been on their backs lately for the last at least 5-6 years, and allowing to happen what's happening is killing the hope of those people. I have jockeys down there that are limited as far as education goes, and they call me up and they go, Rob, okay, what do we do now? What's going to happen to me? I can't make it at Woodbine, and where do I go? What do I do? We need to stop this and have Andrea Horwath and Tim Hudak step up and do the right thing. The Liberals have blindly acted on this from the call it misspending, or we understand that the deficit needs to be addressed, but not at the backs of racetrackers that work hard and have hope. And don't kill the hope of racetrackers. And are we not a tough group? All right. Thank you very much.
And just in closing, I'd like to quote from the CBC from earlier this week, where Dwight Duncan was quoted that the jobs created by the industry are grossly exaggerated. And I would also like to share with you information from Dwight Duncan's government, from the Minister of Government and Consumer Services, that quotes, "The horse racing and breeding industry is labor intensive and supports approximately 55,000 full and part-time jobs, many of which are in the agricultural sector of Ontario and would be difficult to replace." That's a report through the Minister of Government and Consumer Services. Those are Dwight Duncan's fellow ministers. Also, a report from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure shows that there are over 40,000 full-time jobs in the racing industry of Ontario. These are all factual numbers by ministries of the Ontario government, who Dwight Duncan actually is saying those are grossly exaggerated. So who's telling the truth? Obviously not Dwight Duncan. And his attack on this industry has to be stopped. And now's the time to do it. We have to be vigilant. Millions of dollars worth of farms, stallions, mares. In the standardbred industry, there's over 4,000 mares bred every year. The standardbred industry of Ontario is the model for all of North America's standardbred jurisdictions and is the largest one in all of North America. And this is what this man wants to destroy. So we must be vigilant and we must carry on, and honesty, and we will come through at the end. Thank you.